What is going on, everyone, and welcome in to another episode of Expected Bets 4 here. We're waiting for everyone to join in. I think we're live right now. So we got two games on the slate tonight. It's not great. We talked about it earlier, but yeah, exactly. Obviously, Anaheim and Winnipeg and LA and Chicago. But before we get into those games, how's everyone doing today?
It's
Friday break down the
rainy
slate.
and chilly here. It rules.
Yeah.
Probably the last day will be below the 70s till November.
Damn.
We were just at spring training though, like 70 and
it
sunny.
Was gorgeous. It was like 75 2 days ago. Yeah. I think there's a bunch of weather in Colorado. Somebody posted something about a big snowstorm, so it's probably seeping down here.
Yeah, it probably is. All right. So before we get into the first game here, first game up here, we have Anaheim and Winnipeg here. Winnipeg's a heavy favorite here. They opened up minus 380 here and are now up to minus 430. That money line's just untouchable at this point here. It looks like Brissett's going to get the nod in net tonight. Anaheim's looking at Gibson, I believe. Hellebuck started the last game. So that's what I have in terms of this.
Am I crazy to just want to sprinkle the reverse puck line
for Anaheim?
Probably just because Jack Gibson's in net.
I mean, Brissett's been pretty good this year.
I know.
Like he's like 11th in goals saved above expected, which is insane. That tandem has just been unbelievable for Winnipeg. They have been a little leaky as of late, but in terms of these teams,
last time the Ducks won though?
Well, speaking of that, Ducks are on a 4-game losing streak right now. Their last win was March 6th against Ottawa, which, again, is another team that's kind of on the decline now. You go back before that, March 1st versus New Jersey, and then February 29th versus San Jose. So pretty piss-poor teams in terms of quality of wins there. You know, it's not looking great. Just faced off against Minnesota, Chicago, even 7-2 loss there. Dude, the Islanders, Dallas. So I don't know if you have really much to add on that here.
And just to highlight a few of Gibson's more recent wins: San Jose, Buffalo, Ottawa, San Jose, Buffalo. Yeah, I'm good.
He has our number. Gibson's just got Buffalo's number, I guess.
Yeah, his only good win is against Florida on January 15th. So that's 2 months ago.
Yeah, looking at the opposite side of things here, Winnipeg's coming off a 4-2 loss to Nashville here. They beat the Caps before that. They've kind of failed to find consistency in their past few games, despite kind of battling for that first position in the Central with Colorado and Dallas here. But yeah, I mean, minus 430 on the money line, and it's just untouchable, right? Even their puck line, I think, is minus 110 or around there.
What would you need the odds to be for the reverse puck line to sprinkle it? Plus 500 or better, or what?
I mean, I guess
I wouldn't touch Anaheim with this in this game at all. I just think
Anaheim's completely off the table. Plus 800.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it. I mean, I'm a big believer. If you're gonna do it, do the 60-minute line, do the puck line. There's no point in doing a money line on a dog like this. Just if you're gonna do it, do it.
Go big.
Yeah. And we've seen some weird games happen on Fridays too. Friday seems to be one of the odder slates. Last week it was pretty normal, but I think the week before that Anaheim actually won. So maybe they got some mojo going into this here. But I'll start with you here, Franco. Any looks here kind of in this game to start off with?
Well, so if I'm going to do anything on Anaheim's side, I don't mind Killorn. He's been pretty hot recently. So I don't want to back anything really, Anaheim. I think we've kind of gotten that point across here. But
if they're going to win by 2, somebody's got to score.
Yeah. I mean, he does have 4 goals in 6 games against them. So, I mean, you know, he's been one of their only offensive pieces recently. I mean, since they got rid of Henrique and they're missing guys with injuries and stuff like that, it just hasn't been good at all. They haven't been productive. They haven't been scoring. So, again, I don't really want any kind of piece of that. But, again, I would rather go higher odds. So, I would just go straight to his goal scorer prop and go with that if I'm going to do anything on that side. I kind of wanted to do like a Brossois under, but his line said 22.5 saves.
Oh my God.
I can't, man. I could almost see him hitting it though. Like even with that being said, it's just ridiculous. Anaheim doesn't shoot, and Winnipeg's been pretty damn stingy against shots against. So, but I can't do that either.
Would you look at a shutout at plus 650?
I mean,
I'd rather take the reverse back line.
That's probably I know, right? Maybe you just sprinkle both, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's like yeah.
I don't know. It's not the worst. I mean, that could be a very easy 0-2, but I don't mind doing stuff like that if I'm only risking like a quarter unit or something stupid. So, yeah I mean, whatever.
His goals against is 2.5 tonight. Under is minus 195. So,
yeah, I mean, books aren't respecting them at all, and I don't blame them. I mean, I think the only way you can say anything is if you do think it's a Freaky Friday type of scenario where Anaheim just comes out and this team lays an egg. But I don't know. I would much rather be on the Winnipeg side for props and stuff. Morrissey assist is minus 115. I think that's a damn good price for him.
Great value tonight.
Yeah. I mean, against this team, I would think that Winnipeg can score 3 or 4 goals pretty easily. I would think. And Connor goal at plus 130 on DK is just crazy. I mean, he's only plus 110 or something on FanDuel, so I think that's a great value. Getting a plus 130 on DK is just awesome.
Yeah, I would agree. Betsky, any looks for you in this one here?
Yeah, because of what type of game this could be, I guess I would rather go big on it too. So when Scheifele assists is plus 120, which feels really nice if you like Connor goal.
So that's the thing with Scheifele, though. Wasn't he out last game with an illness?
Yeah, he missed the game.
He missed the game with an illness. So is he 100% back tonight?
We're talking about a tummy bug, or are we talking about a hangover?
I know I don't know which one's one of those things, man. Like,
yeah,
and so illness. Like, I always wonder who else has it. These guys are all together.
Oh,
maybe we do. Anaheim.
Even Anaheim plus 1.5. Their puck line right now plus 130.
Oh my God.
No, give me that.
You got to go big. You got to go reverse puck line.
2-1 game. Winnipeg pulls real early too, like with 5 minutes, because they don't want to embarrass themselves in the front of their hometown, and boom, 3-1 Ducks.
I mean, that's the thing too. So Winnipeg's team total is it's at 3.5 tonight. Like plus money. I think it's actually minus money. Excuse me, but the total is only 5.5 here. So they're expecting a low scoring game. So they're expecting like a 4-1 Winnipeg victory here.
Yes,
is that what we're thinking here?
6-1. Yeah. Well, I guess not. But yeah.
I saw a few people on like a Winnipeg money line and under bet, and that seems like a good way to go if you're going to back Winnipeg at all. I think that was pretty bettable too. I got to find it here, but that might be kind of like a way to do it. Yeah, Jets money line and under 5.5 is plus 160. Just something to consider.
It's not bad. You could even tease that sure to like 6.5 and get a pretty decent price at and then sprinkle in Winnipeg and Reg.
Or Ducks and Reg.
Or Ducks and Reg. That's also true.
I want that empty net.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, on the opposite side for the Ducks too, I mean, Killorn's been pretty great for them. He's highlighted here, hitting 4 of his 5, hitting 4 of his last 6 versus Winnipeg. So that might be another kind of anytime score tonight, plus 245, I believe. So it's not bad value, I guess, if we're going to go with the Freaky Friday mantra here. So, but in terms of other Anaheim props or Winnipeg props, I mean, there's really not much in this game that really jumps out, I'd say, kind of looking at the kind of whatever service you use, but nothing's really, these are the 4 that kind of were the only ones that were of consideration, I'd say.
And maybe think Connor 2 points, but if Scheifele's actually sick, that kind of worries me a little bit. Not too bad though, but yeah. They're a team that's got 3 forward lines that are putting up points, and it makes it hard to bet on because of that. And you don't kind of get that extra value against these bad teams because it could easily be Connor and the top line gets one of the goals. Then
then you get Lowry
Foley and yeah. Or then some weird one where it's like Morrissey with like Pionk or
Morgan Barron
play together. But I'm like
that's what I could see for sure.
Yeah, and then the shots right now for Winnipeg has just been really bad. I haven't been Monahan last week just killed me last Friday, and I just can't stomach it right now. So.
No, I would agree there. I mean, they've been below 30 in their past 3 games here, so it's not like they're shooting a ton. And then they've
Connor
given
screwed
up
everybody against Nashville.
Yeah,
like, it's just been.
Yeah, that was a classic. Any other looks in this game here?
I got $5 to put on the first puck line, and I'm going to do it. God damn it!
I like it.
Yeah, I probably won't be riding with you on that one, but
they just lost to the Preds by 2. Obviously, a much better team, and if they are kind of sick,
you never know, man. Like that type of stuff isn't knowledge that we're privy to usually, right? Like they're not going to be like, well, 10 players on Winnipeg are sick today, and they're throwing up and shitting all over the place.
Yeah,
and they can even put their skates on.
You'd have to go. You have to go find the Jets beat reporter. I'm not sure who that is off the top of my head, or something along those lines. Of try to do a deep dive on Twitter. But
I think we've exhausted this game.
Yeah. I think this game's pretty much all. So that sounds good. With this one, we'll move on to the next game here. We have LA at Chicago. Another doozy of a game here. The Kings are -278 on the money line. Blackhawks +225. Over under set at 5.5 here. Juice the over at -122. These teams have faced off just not this season, actually. Excuse me. Looking at the past head-to-heads here. So no real history to go off. Despite Chicago really having nothing to play for, they've won 3 of their last 4 games. But you look at the quality of wins. And Anaheim or Arizona twice, Anaheim. It's not great, but they are scoring against those teams, and they've been both at home. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on this game.
Let me paint you a picture.
Okay.
It's going into the third period of the Jets-Ducks game. 2-1. Ducks. Brasov gets pulled. Empty net. 3-1 Ducks.
Oh boy.
Going into the third in Chicago. It's 5-2 Chicago against the Kings. Reverse puck line on both of them is 5,480.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to happy hour today.
I was gonna say, is this a sober painting or?
I'm going to buy this instead. $5. There's my Coors Light. Half of my first pitcher.
Crazier things have happened.
I'm going to donate it. I'm going to donate it to FanDuel, or they are going to be paying me over $300. Let's go.
Yeah,
it'll be a good story tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a hell of a picture.
Chicago's been really good. If no jokes aside, their reverse puck line at where was it? Is at +520, which actually feels like some decent value here. I mean,
yeah.
Kings are in desperation mode for even hanging on to a wild card spot.
Yeah.
If they are down by 1, how soon do you think they pull their goaltender? 5 minutes in? With 5 minutes left? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. That's a good question here.
But Bedard is truly on another level right now. I think he's got the most confidence he's had all season. I'm ready to ride his 3.5 shots on goal line as well. Just about against anyone when he's at home. Jones is playing out of his mind. It seems like there's actually some chemistry happening. Kurashev's been pretty decent lately. But, Blackwell's been kind of the NHL capper darling this past week. But
Not anymore.
Dickinson's, yeah. I mean, and that's fine.
Screwed
but
us, though.
Dickinson's been great all season for them.
Yep.
I don't know. There's a little bit of magic there right now, and it's a dumb bet. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, like I said, on
Fridays are
paper,
weird.
they have nothing to play for really at all, but yet they're still putting together some pretty impressive performances here. The issue for Chicago tonight is a net.
Soderblom's in that.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy.
That's the issue tonight.
So
at 5.5, I don't hate the over.
I don't hate that.
I think
at
this
all.
could be a high scoring game. Soderblom's 92nd out of 93 goalies in the NHL in terms of goals saved over expected. He's terrible, to put it lightly here. That's the main issue here. Talbot hasn't been great either as of late. I think he's allowed three or more in his last 3 starts here. So I could see the over here. I could see this being a high scoring game at 5.5. I don't hate that. But any other looks for you guys in terms of player props?
Well, maybe if I do the reverse puck lines for the 2 terrible teams, I should be taking the team totals on the 2 good teams and parlaying that.
Yep. It's. I mean, I don't hate Chicago. Yeah.
Chicago team total could be a good bet. Actually, I don't mind that. Actually,
I don't know if you're going to get good value on it though. Let's see.
We got 2.5 plus 140.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, I don't hate that at all.
I think you just go the over though, right? 5.5 minus 122.
Yeah.
Then you factor in Soderblom too. Like you're rooting for goals, and they come.
Yeah, and the over is at the same price as Kings team total, so might as well take the safer bet there, right?
Yeah, I don't hate that. Even sprinkling Chicago team total at 2.5, like plus 140 right now, doesn't seem like a terrible bet either to try to double up on that. Franco, did you have any player props here?
Yeah, I got a few. I really like Doughty assist here tonight. He's just been recording assists like crazy right now. And I think if we can all agree that Soderblom's going to land at least 3, I would guess, right? 3 to 4 goals. I like that a lot. Plus 110 for that. It's pretty damn good value too for him. And on the other side, I like Seth Jones' point, to be honest with you. His shots have been awesome too, so I don't mind that either. But he's going for 400 career points tonight, I believe. Let me verify that real quick. But yeah, I mean, like you guys have said, the chemistry's kind of flowing here in Chicago, and top line's been pretty good. Yep, he's sitting at 399 career points, so why not tonight? He's got 5 points in his last 3 games. He's scoring and producing,
and he's not available on FanDuel.
Interesting.
The old show your cards book.
I mean, plus 110 on DK right now for a point for him. So
yeah,
I feel like they've been productive. That top line has been good. And like you said, Bedard's been firing. He's been confident too. So we just need a touch from Jones on one of those goals from Bedard, and we're gravy. So yeah, I just think there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Jones shots, the 2 weak points of the Kings across their last 10 have been to centers and to D-men. So I don't mind doubling up on Jones there. And even his assist prop too, which I looked at before, is a little tricky because he has gotten on the board kind of across his last 5. So I don't mind the point there as well. Did you have any looks for the King side of things?
Just the Doughty assist probably, and I don't mind Kempe. He's at 3.5, which is a little high for my liking. I know he's a guy that can get there, but he's been firing recently, and Chicago obviously gives up a ton of shots. So I don't mind looking at Kempe props in general. Maybe his 1.5 points looks pretty good as plus 180. So maybe you go there, maybe you go his goal score, maybe you go shots. Just depends on how you want to attack him, but I like Kempe tonight as well for the Kings.
Yeah, I don't hate that look as well either here. Any other looks in this game before we talk about Saturday slate?
Kopitar's, this is another one I'd probably lean into. So he's got a point in 76% of away games and an assist in 55% of away games. So if you think Kempe is going to be a hot shooter, it's kind of like the same idea with Scheifele and Connor until I found out he was ill. But
yeah, man. Pair these top guys, and if you have the ability to, I know some states don't have it, but if you can parlay 2 guys for a point on the top line, you could do Kempe and Kopitar point, or even if you want to get crazy, do Bedard point with Foligno or with Khrushchev. So you're going to get way better value than you would if you just bet them straight. Obviously, you can't even bet Bedard straight. He's minus 180 for a point. So I don't mind doing something like that as well to get a little more value.
Yeah, even Deneau, anytime score tonight, hitting 4 of 6 versus former team is another look out there as well, if you're expecting this to be a high-scoring matchup here. So that's, I think, about it for the 2 games tonight here. Looking at Saturday's slate, we got a doozy. I think we have 14 games on Saturday, a few matinee games, which should be fun. Start us off with Buffalo, Detroit. Sabres. Creeping back up.
Detroit on the other
wild card spot.
That's the best possible matchup or time to hit Detroit too.
Detroit, Islanders, and now we play Detroit again. I mean, it's a great way to kind of get themselves back into things before they go on that West Coast road trip for 5 games. So that's going to be a tough stretch. But I mean, the Sabres look great right now. It's a shame that this team's kind of just started to gel. It feels like they did this last year where they missed out in the playoffs by 1 point, but they just can't get anything going really in the early portion of the season. So
that Byron pickup was awesome.
He's looked unbelievable.
I posted on Twitter, and there was a couple Colorado fans that were pretty high on the Millstat side of things, and I totally get that because Colorado's been needing a 2C. But I mean, Buffalo has Savoy, Benson. Gosh, I feel like 2 more. Who else in the draft flash? Yeah, coming up for just like kind of
Rosen, Rosick. Yeah, I mean the prospect. There's so many prospects that they have, and
so many internal replacements for Millstat. I honestly didn't know how they're going to fit all those types of players on the roster.
No,
you open this up, and now you got a big defenseman. As long as Byram can stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean you have your 4 then: Power, Dahlin, Samuelson, Byram. Like it's great too. It's a shame Clifton kind of hasn't been the player that he was last year. I see that's kind of
probably having to play a little over his head.
Yeah. I mean, if you settle him on the 3rd line, that 3rd defensive pairing, that's not a bad. That's not a bad guy to have down there. Well, with Yoki Haryu, who's been a little bit better than last year. But I'll start with you here, Franco. Any games you kind of want to look at to start off?
Yeah, let's start with Tampa and the Panthers, I guess.
That's
I mean, that game is just going to be awesome in general, right? I think we can all agree there that both these teams are hot as hot can be at this point. And I know Florida's coming off that brutal loss the other day too, so they're going to probably be wanting to put a little extra juice in this game, but I mean the Florida side because of that, but I mean you can't even bet it. I think they're minus 160 or minus 175 on the money line or something like that. So maybe you go puck line, maybe you go reg or something like that. But I'm looking at props here. Kucherov, 12 points in 7 games against Florida, which is I mean I know Kucherov is a guy that can be a 2 point per game average type player against certain teams. So kind of surprising to see against Florida, though. I know they haven't been conceding a ton of goals, so it's a little sketchy, but, I memean, he's just so damn good. And, again, I think both these teams are going to get up for this game. So I like that a lot.
The thing, too, that you mentioned, sorry to cut you off there, with Florida and that money line here. So Vasi started 6 straight. Usually he starts 6 or 7 straight, and then Johansson will get the nod here. So something to watch out for in could
you imagine if they trot him out there for this game though? Come on.
I don't think they will, but usually he only gets 6 or 7 starts and then they'll go. So maybe this will be Vasi's last game, and then
so do we think that's a disadvantage for Vasi then, like going on 7 games? That's a lot of games in a row, right?
They've pretty much just kept running him since he's come back from injury. Like he's out there. He's playing probably 95% of the games.
Maybe that is a good look for that Florida reg or puck line. I can't imagine they don't come out and just hammer them. I know Tampa's great, and I'm not saying that that's a likely scenario, but after losing like they did to the Kings, I feel like Florida's going to want a little retribution. So, and why not against this team who's the like in-state rival, right? So
Exactly. Yeah, that reg line I like a lot as well.
But I do like Duclair as well on the Tampa side. I feel like he's been. I was kind of worried, a little hesitant after the trade. You know, it's like I feel like a guy trades and trades teams, and now he's in a different scenario, and he doesn't continue where he was. He was so red hot on the Sharks before the trade deadline, and I was kind of worried. But I was gonna bet him against the Rangers the other day. I'm like, dude, Shesterkin's been so good that I can't, and he scored again. And it's just like at this point, it's forget it. Just bet the guy's score. He's been super productive.
Former team. Yeah.
Oh yeah, former team too. So you get that angle as well. I wasn't even thinking that. See, I'm behind.
5 goals in his last 4 games.
Yeah,
and I love the line he's on. I mean, giving him that top 6 opportunity again. He's flourished in these opportunities. So like when he was on Panthers with Barkov, he's playing with Stamkos now. I mean, Tampa has plenty of kind of big grinding, big bodied 2-way guys. So adding a little bit more skill into that top 6 is nice. It was a nice pickup this off for the deadline, but
that was a surprise too. I mean, I wasn't thinking of them as a team to acquire him. I know his name was coming up in rumors, but I didn't hear that at all as a potential rumor going there. So it's a good get by them for sure.
Yep.
Other props on this one. You like Stammer?
Stammer just kills the Panthers.
Yeah.
39 goals in his 66 games against them.
Almost averaging 4 shots a game too. In those,
and I do love his shots. Yep.
Yeah. I know he's been more productive on the shot line. I do want to get some Panthers props in here though. So I like Verhaeghe. Obviously he's another former team angle type of guy. He doesn't usually hit his shots against Tampa, but I'll probably go something with his point. Maybe I'll parlay with something or go his goal scorer prop. And I really like Kachuk assist as well. They're playing on a line together. We finally get Kachuk off of the line with Cousins. So yeah, I mean, Kachuk assist has been awesome all year. I know that. And he has 8 and 8 games against them as well. Tends to get close to that over for a shot on goal too against them as well. So that's kind of been picking up as well, averaging 3 shots a game in his last 3 games and 3 assists across those 3 games as well. So maybe he's kind of returning back to that form as well. I know he's been sitting around 2.5 too, which we never saw that last year. He was a constant 3.5 shot prop line. So I don't mind doing something there as well.
Yeah. Speaking of assists, Forsling as well has an assist in each, I think 6 assists in his last 6 games played. So that could be another look there as well for the Florida side of prop things here. One thing I did want to mention in Buffalo, Detroit here is Dylan Cousins shots on goal, 2.5. He hit the other night. He's on that second line right now with Benson and Greenway, who are primarily playmakers. They're pass first guys. Greenway has been fantastic in this past few games, just generating a ton of chances for that line. And Benson as well, premier playmaker. He's starting to kind of get his shoes underneath him. He's only 18 years old, which is just crazy to begin with here. But Cousins is that shooter on that line, and he's been great. I think he's hit in each of his last 4 games when he's kind of been on that tear. So I like Cousins as well. There'll certainly be a prop I'm looking at tomorrow here. Any other games?
They don't give you Benson props, do they?
No,
I don't think so.
Nope.
But maybe they'll open it by tomorrow. I mean, it's been enough games and enough really production good. Where they should. I mean, he's a top 6
player, and Byram.
You know,
him and Byram.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yep.
Yeah,
we had Byram props last year in the playoffs. I remember.
Yep.
Colorado, not Buffalo, because Buffalo hasn't made the playoffs since like 2010.
Yeah, I think it's 14 years. 11.
No, that'd be the proper math. Yeah.
Yeah, something around there.
I was bartending.
Another key matchup for tomorrow is Colorado Edmonton here. I think there's a few obvious looks in this one here. So
everybody 2 points.
Yep. Yeah. McKinnon,
Seriously.
McDavid, Draisaitl. Yep.
Nichushkin.
Would you go Makar 2 points as well?
Potentially, I would need to probably take a look,
Yeah.
but
Rantanen and assist has also been great lately as well.
Mhm.
That's kind of another player prop for that one. Any other looks in that one?
Hyman shots, he's just a whole different beast at home. Again, we were kind of talking about this before the show started. Sometimes these tighter games where it's harder to pick a side, or on paper it looks like there may not be too many goals or may not be too many shots because it's two really competitive teams, ends up being really good in like a 4-3 game, like a playoff type game. And this definitely feels like a conference final preview here. And the players know that. And both of these teams aren't sitting nice and tidy at the top of their division standings either. So there's a lot to play for tomorrow.
Yep. Taves assists as well. 7 assists in his last 8 games played. So a few looks there on the Colorado side here. I know before we talked as well, Boston, Philly. Franco, did you have a few plays in that as well?
Yeah, it's all going to be on the Boston side, as I hate to say that as a Philly fan. But last time these two met, Pasta just went ham against them, and I don't see any reason why you wouldn't come back to that. Like he loves playing Philly. He loves shooting against them. He's always got a high shot on goal total against them, and 19 points in his last 10 games against them, including 11 of those being goals. So it's just take it all. Take his goal prop. May even sprinkle his first goal score prop. Go 2 goals or go 2 points. Go with his over 4.5 shots. Maybe power play 0.2. I mean, just literally sprinkle the board however you want to allocate your units there. But yeah, he just kills his team. And I mean, even friggin' Zaka has 16 points in 13 games against them.
Yep.
So that's just
wow.
They're tied together, So it's not like that's easy math there. If Pasta's getting involved, obviously Zaka is going to be there.
But they weren't tied together for that long.
No, this
season. Yeah, I mean, I guess probably not
even the past 2 months. Because Boston shifted their lines around several times.
Most part of this year they've been together though. It's been like off and on.
But that's more than 16 games worth of history against them.
Yeah, I mean that's probably
than his
that's probably going back to the Devils' time, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah.
One other one too is like Marchand's been sitting at 399 career goals.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
When's he going to friggin' get it, right?
Yeah. I mean, his shots on goal numbers have been pretty good as of late, though, too.
Yeah, he's picking up the volume a little bit.
He's picking it up, especially at home. He's been much better, so I don't hate that Marchand angle as well.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, let me mark down Pasta. But any other? I think you had did you have any in New Jersey, Arizona?
That one I didn't. I don't know if Betsy does. That's his boys.
Yeah, Heischer assist has been great.
Yeah. Now that Hughes is on that top line too.
Yeah.
I don't know. On the Zona side, Cooley's really starting to heat up. He had a hell of a game against Detroit last night, and him and Gunther are really looking like an awesome combo. The other piece is Bukestad is on the top line now with Keller and Schmaltz. So I don't believe the books have really adjusted the value here. Jersey still has goaltending issues on the blue line. So Keller's always been a little bit better at home too. So I really like Bukestad points here. And if you want to get real creative with it, you can maybe even consider doing him for 2 points, which I'm sure you're going to get like plus 360 or so. On the Devils side, man, they're weird right now. It's really hard to kind of, I mean, that Hughes run was really nice, but it seems like he's completely cooled off. I feel like at some point it's going to just start up again, but who knows when. And Arizona is a great matchup for that to happen, but I'm not going to.
If you guys want, I'll take the under. I'll take the under, guys, and you guys can all bet the over, and he'll still get 10. That dude hates me. I swear to God, he hates me. So I bet his under one other time, and he got like
He went sword
3
over.
shots in
Gotcha.
OT.
Yeah.
No, he had like none going into the third period. He got like 3 in OT. Oh man, I'll never forget that shit. So yeah, yeah. If you guys want, I'll take the fall. I'll bet it's under.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
You guys can all laugh.
Speaking of former Arizona goalies here, interesting matchup. Wedgwood's likely to get the start in Dallas tomorrow. LA is obviously going to be on a back-to-back. LA's struggled in back-to-backs this season. Dallas is around minus 160 on the money line. Dallas hasn't been great in their past 2 games, losing to Florida and New Jersey here. I think this is a prime get-right spot for them.
Yeah.
I don't hate Dallas and Reg tomorrow at all. That was kind of the game I had circled, especially in terms of a side or total.
Can we talk about Lumbus really quick too? I mean, it's like a treasure trove of shots on goal props right now. I mean, is anybody not going to be on Nylander at 3?
Yeah, that's
probably still plus money. I mean, it may not be plus money tomorrow, but I'll take him up to 4.
Who would have thought that you'd be betting Columbus props this late in the season?
Not against them. Yeah,
and without Fantilli and Mr. Lane, you know, it's crazy. Man, I don't even remember the guy's name. There's some other Russian.
I mean, Tessier has been hot too, right? Like you got you got Tessier,
Marchenko.
Marchenko's
been a little up and down. Who's the other? Who's Voronkov? Yeah.
I mean, all these guys have been 1.5 lines for so long, and you're just getting so good. Like, just take them 3, take them 4, and if they get to 3, you're profitable. It's just crazy.
Yep. Jenner at home's been a lot better, and against the Sharks, that may be fine. Oh, it looks like Nylander is on the top line now. I didn't even realize this. This was last game. Sillinger's been hitting his 2 line over and over.
Yep.
I've never heard of some of these guys though. Paitia?
No, there's a few.
A double Y last name, and then
about that guy.
Fix Wolansky.
Yeah, dude, Fix Wolansky. That's a good one. I like that last name.
That's a sweet last name.
Right there.
But yeah, Wolansky's been nice lately too. So I mean,
and it's against the Sharks too. So
you're actually be able to get some Sharks.
I bet you Nylander is not going to be plus money tomorrow.
No, he may be finally priced right. It was a good ride, but I mean, I'll take Zetterlund tomorrow. Eklund's been kind of nice for a point lately.
Been good for a point. Yep. It's weird to see
I know
this game is what you're excited about, but I think that's the reality, right? Like it's not fun betting. I think Rangers and Penguins would be a fun matchup. Obviously, the Penguins have been trashed recently, but that being a divisional game, Leafs and Hurricanes looks like a good game. I don't want to bet anything in that game though.
No.
What the hell where's the value going to be? You're never going to get value on any of those guys.
Still out,
I guess, but I mean, they just shut out Florida the other day.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know. It's weird because you have to toe that line, right? Of you don't want to bet a ton of money on the Columbus Blue Jackets player props.
But I may.
But
I may.
But you
that,
might.
That Minnesota Blues game looks really good on paper, but Eriksson X out. That clearly is affecting kind of how that roster is being run up and down. Rossi had an off game against the Ducks because of it. I mean, he got a point, but just wasn't shooting at least. Blues have been completely untrustworthy lately until they had that nice game against Boston that nobody saw coming. I mean, I don't know what way that game goes.
Would you touch that Ottawa Islanders game at all? That's the game.
Don't think so, because
the
Islanders are not allowing many shots, and Ottawa hasn't been either lately.
No, that's the one game that going near that.
Go back to Pinto? Everybody was on Pinto the other day, right? And he failed everyone
twice.
Yeah.
Which he hasn't really done all season.
Chikrin's been pretty good though, right?
Yeah, Chikrin's been good.
Mm-hmm. Any other last games?
I hate
Nashville, Seattle. Yeah.
No, I'm not touching Nashville, Seattle.
I love that game, man. I love that game. That's like an over, right?
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
it's a sneaky over, right? Like
Okay.
you think
All right, now I'm listening.
naturally you think unders, right? But I mean
Last year,
overall, like
especially, not
there's a
this
ton of
year.
guys that have good histories. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But in general, I mean, you don't think of these teams as offensive powerhouses, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest here. But I don't know. I mean, good histories. Both teams can score. Seattle's had more of goaltending issues recently. I like Everly to get his assists finally. I think he's at 400 or 500 assists for his career. He needs one more for that. And I really like Tolvanen for his shots. He's been hitting it a ton recently, and he's a former Pred, so he was one of those guys that kind of
that's right.
That's
they
right.
just kind of like threw him. I think they waived him. It wasn't even like they traded him away. They just were like, this guy's not good enough to make our starting lineup, and I never really understood that because he kind of always showed flashes when he played for them. So I don't know. I just look at this game and there's a ton of guys that I like props for. I like Forsberg point. Obviously, that's not bettable straight. It'd be parlay piece. Yossi's just been awesome. He kind of cooled off for like a little bit there, but then he had a 2-point night the other night. So I just think there's a ton of value there, and I think all the props are going to be priced nicely because I think you're going to get a 5.5 most likely or a 6. Right? Is that what that line's at?
I think it's a 5.5 now.
Yeah. So I mean, I like that over too, to be honest with you. So.
I like that. All right. Any other remaining games you guys want to touch on?
Yeah.
I think we got pretty much
all the other ones I feel like I need to dig into a little bit more.
Yeah. We'll put together a parlay for tomorrow, release our best bets. Obviously, tonight's slate, not great. So we'll have that out tomorrow. All right. Any closing remarks here?
Yeah, and enjoy the night off, right? This is like a go light tonight. Don't do anything stupid, and just bet the Ducks reverse puck line and the Blackhawks reverse puck line. And
go Ducks, go Hawks.
Turn off all your notifications so that you don't have to see it.
Also, I looked ahead at the schedule earlier today. There's a lot of 2 to 3 game days coming up, so be weary as we get deeper into the end of the season, and there's constantly 14 games, then 2 games after. Try to do your best to save some coin for playoffs, because it's going to be fun.
Exactly.
The other thing too is like this is a time of year where like games get tighter, right? There's going to be less overs, I think, overall, more draws. So start kind of like looking at those angles of teams playing closer, and you're not going to get any value on Anaheim versus Winnipeg, obviously, right? You're not getting any value on Winnipeg tonight because it's just nobody's expecting Anaheim to win, and most likely they're not going to win in reality, despite Betsky's. But I mean, you're just going to see a ton of lines like that, these lopsided lines. So it really helps you kind of like eliminate games to just not even bet on these bigger slates, right? And look for more draws, look for unders, even though nobody wants to bet unders. And I would say go lighter on these point props and goal props as we get closer to the end of the season, because it's just everybody wants to get points, right? So these games where it's close at the end of the game, like both the teams are gonna say, you know what, screw it, I can get a point out of this game. Let's go to OT and we'll settle it there. So just something to consider.
Agree completely. All right, you guys want to shout out your socials?
Gretzky Betsky's on Twitter and part of the Parlay Science Discord.
And Franco the Banker on Twitter.
Awesome. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Gator Betting. We appreciate everyone for tuning in for this Friday and Saturday slate. We will talk to you guys next week.